there's a difference between a great fighter and TBE.
Floyd Mayweather recently watched the latest footage of Shakur Stevenson's training. After viewing it, he is convinced that Gervonta Davis won't stand a chance against Shakur's formidable power. Mayweather even goes as far as to say that Stevenson could seriously hurt Davis in the ring if the referee doesn't intervene. He suggests that Davis's best option might be to cancel the fight and look for a less challenging opponent. According to Mayweather, if Davis is truly a champion like he claims, he should understand that training alone won't be enough to match Shakur's power. Mayweather argues that Davis needs more than just his regular training to compete with someone as strong as Shakur. He emphasizes that Shakur's power is on another level, and Davis should recognize the serious challenge he faces. Mayweather even finds it ridiculous that Davis believes he will win against Shakur just because he has won previous fights. He points out that past victories don't guarantee success against a fighter like Shakur, who brings a unique and formidable skill set to the ring.
You know, a true champion can bounce back. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No amount of words will ever convince Mayweather that Davis is a better fighter or that he will win against Shakur. Mayweather has firmly believed this since he first noticed that his former mentee lacks the aggressiveness and tactical skills needed to handle a stronger opponent like Shakur. He feels that Davis doesn't have what it takes to compete at that level, no matter how much training he does. If there is anyone who truly knows Davis, it would be Mayweather. They have spent a lot of time together, with Mayweather acting as a mentor to Davis. Through their long association, Mayweather has had plenty of opportunities to observe Davis's strengths and weaknesses up close. This intimate knowledge of Davis's abilities makes Mayweather confident in his assessment that Shakur will come out on top.
But when it's all said and done, he was a beat fighter from round one. He knew it.
Now, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson have all the ingredients for an exciting, all-American, undefeated unification fight in one of the hottest divisions in boxing. The lightweight division is filled with anticipation for this matchup. The stage was set when Devin Haney moved up to the 140-pound division, vacating his 4 lightweight belts. This move created opportunities for both Davis and Stevenson to rise in the ranks. With Haney's departure, Davis was upgraded from WBA regular champion to full champion. This promotion solidified his status and set the stage for bigger fights. Meanwhile, Stevenson seized his opportunity by fighting for and winning the vacant WBC belt against Edwin de los Santos. These changes have positioned Davis and Stevenson perfectly for a high-stakes showdown. Davis recently returned to the ring for his first defense of his new title, scoring an impressive 8th-round knockout against the previously undefeated Frank Martin. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson is preparing for his own title defense next month. He will be facing Artem Harutyunyan, who is a former opponent of Frank Martin. After these fights, fans are eagerly anticipating a showdown between Davis and Stevenson, believing it would be a match truly worth their money. This potential bout has generated significant buzz, with many considering it a must-see event. The question now is this fight truly worth the hype? Opinions are divided on the potential fight between Davis and Stevenson. However, many fans and analysts believe this matchup could electrify the boxing world. Despite the excitement, boxing analyst Paulie Malignaggi thinks that Gervonta "Tank" Davis might be avoiding a unification fight with WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson. Why would Davis evade Shakur? This raises questions and suggests that something might not be quite right. Malignaggi expressed frustration upon hearing Tank Davis mention Vasily Lomachenko's name after his win over Frank Martin rather than Stevenson's. Malignaggi believes that Lomachenko, at 36 years old, is past his prime and no longer represents the toughest competition. Instead, he feels that Davis should fight the 26-year-old Shakur Stevenson, who is currently in the prime of his career and would provide a more exciting and challenging matchup. But it's only fair to consider Tank's perspective as well, right? From his point of view, he wants to fight someone who will create an entertaining, action-packed match. He feels that Shakur's defensive fighting style, which prioritizes avoiding punches and scoring points with the jabs, doesn't make for an exciting bout. Tank prefers opponents who are more aggressive and willing to engage, creating the kind of thrilling fights that fans love to watch. It makes sense that Tank is interested in fighting Lomachenko now, because he can't afford to wait much longer. The highly accomplished Ukrainian fighter is nearing the end of his career, so it's literally now or never for Tank to face him. In contrast, Shakur is young and will be around for a long time, giving Tank plenty of opportunities to fight him in the future. This strategic timing allows Tank to capitalize on a fight with Lomachenko while he still can, while knowing that a bout with Shakur can happen later down the line. This is my issue here. When I wanted to see Davis and Lomachenko, I wanted to see Davis and Lomachenko. I don't need to see Davis and Lomachenko when it's too late already. Now I want to see Davis and Stevenson. So what's the holdup? If Malignaggi wants this fight to happen, why is he pushing so hard for a showdown between Davis and Shakur? Let's hear his next thoughts on the matter. Guess what? Nobody's talking about Davis and Stevenson. That's my issue. That's my problem with boxing, said Malignaggi. They make fights when it's convenient for them, when there's an advantage. Davis looked terrific against Frank Martin. I was very impressed with the performance, explained Malignaggi. It appears that Malignaggi's main issue is that he didn't hear Shakur's name mentioned frequently. Is he a fan of Shakur? Or is he simply impressed by the young fighter's skills and potential? But here lies the problem. Malignaggi seems to overlook the fact that Shakur had a disappointing performance against Edwin de los Santos last November. As a result, Shakur's popularity has plummeted to an all-time low following that bout. Given Shakur's recent fighting style, it's understandable why Tank might not be eager to face him, but few fighters would be. No one wants to spend 12 rounds chasing someone around the ring only to end up on the wrong side of a controversial decision, as we saw happen with De Los Santos. But as expected, Malignaggi defends his favorite boxer, the way he was able to go and get that win. But come on, Shakur Stevenson is a different proposition than anybody else, said Malignaggi. The little bit of problems that you saw Frank giving Davis, it's times 10 when Shakur is in there, because Shakur is the tall, rangy southpaw with a lot more IQ and a lot more versatility with his style. In my opinion and that of many others, Malignaggi is overly optimistic about Shakur's abilities. Shakur won't likely replicate Martin's success against Tank Davis because he tends to hold back on throwing powerful punches. He may hesitate to unleash his full potential in the ring. Another issue with Shakur is his tendency to throw single shots and then retreat. This strategy may not be effective against Tank, who often wins rounds through relentless pressure and landing heavier punches. But for Malignaggi, none of this is a concern. In his interview, he expressed his eagerness to see the fight happen, regardless of any criticisms. He simply enjoys watching Shakur in action. I'd love to see the fight. I'm saying this because I want to see the fight. I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. Do I edge Shakur? I've always edged Shakur. I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. He looks terrific, said Malignaggi. Of course, Mayweather shares a similar sentiment, especially after viewing Shakur's latest training footage. Mayweather is convinced that Davis could face his first ever knockdown against Shakur. So, what do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below.